we also don't have any races in Kenya that these guys would actually go to and shine that people attend.
First of all, I think you have to make the country fall in love with the sport.
Okay. When Jerry mentioned that he did not, she did not recognize who Mutai was, like when they were at the airport in Charles de Gaulle. And a lot of these marathon runners who are world record holders, it's going to be, I think it's very fair when I say that a majority of Kenyans, if they saw them on the streets, they don't know who they are.
They would not know them.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that the guy is wearing a tracksuit and maybe it might say Kenya.
Yeah.
But are wearing it tracksuit?
No, well, a lot of times when those jamas travel, Mika, and it could be me, they actually are wearing athletic gear. But
let me ask a quick question here. I'm going to come to your motion, then we'll go to you, Mika. What do you think needs to be done? Because think about it. Even in sports that are not the most popular sports out here in the US, and maybe this is a bad comparison. Think about a sport like maybe tennis. Tennis is not the most popular sport. But even if you don't watch tennis, you're going to know who the best players are. You're going to know who Coco Gauff is, even if you've just had the name in passing, even if you've just seen the face in passing. When Serena was playing, you would know who Serena Williams is or Venus Williams. What is it that we need to do to make these faces recognizable to Kenyans? Because these are not only Kenyan champions, they are world champions. And they've been winning these races multiple times. Omosh, and then I'm going to come to you, Mika.
I think it has to be, we have to be very, what was it that Uno said?
Intentional.
Yes, we have to be extremely intentional. And it starts with, for me, I would say, and everybody, probably would say, you guys are pushing too much, our Ministry of Sports as well as the tourism.
Yeah.
They need to push that. And I don't even know who, I was going to say markets Kenya in general, because it seems like there seems to be the tourism board, Sijimara, it's the tourist, I don't know, like Ministry of Tourism. Then when it comes to sports, then it's pushed onto the sports guys. So it seems like there's really nobody who's actually holding the mantle, so to speak, of like going forward and saying, okay, this is our champion. Other than to say Kipchoge, who it's like, what's that company? Is it Ineos or
even before Ineos? Nike, of course, was.
Yeah. So if you don't have a deal with a sneaker company like Nike or like Ineos was pushing for the record, right? Nobody knows who you are. Like nobody's pushing, and our own people. When I say our own people, I say between the ministry, the tourism board, TSG Tembea Kenya. I don't know, all these funny things that we have. Why don't we use our athletes to market the country?
Now, but here's my question. There's one thing about marketing the country outside, but I'm talking about just Kenyans.
No,
Kenyans in Wargadud,
okay.
Kenyans in Moyale,
but
knowing who this guy is.
But
that's another level.
Here's the thing.
That's a whole other level.
If you put them out there where they are being seen, our people will know them. That's the problem. They're not seen. It's like our own people don't say anything about them. And the other thing is that we also don't have any races in Kenya that these guys would actually go to and shine that people attend or that folks know of, so to speak.
All right. Let's go to Mika, and then we're going to come to you, Uno Mike. Mika, same question. What needs to be done internally? Let's not even get to the international scene. Internally, think about Kipchoge. He's been in the Olympics since 2004. Believe it or not, Kipchoge was running in Athens in 2004. For those who remember, I think Slay might have been a toddler then, but Kipchoge was already running, in 2004. So, Mika, what needs to be done for these faces to be recognizable, across the country, even before they become global hits?
So the thing is, first of all, I think you have to make the country fall in love with the sport.
Okay.
Right? And making the country fall in love with the sport means that how do you I'll give an example. Right now, there's an Olympics that's starting in a few weeks.
July.
I think we are on 90-something days to the Olympics. We're not 90-something days, we're 80-something days to the Olympics, but I believe it's 90-something days to the Olympics, because the torch is usually lit 100 days with the Olympics, and it was lit earlier this week.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen anything that is, Kitambo, you would see. When I was young, I remember how I knew about Douglas Wakihuri, even before he reigned. I saw Douglas Wakihuri advertising a Nissan called Nissan Sahara.
DT Dob is Nissan.
Pickup, yes.
Douglas Wakihuri's choice. I remember that.
And he was everywhere, right? And even without even just that Nissan Sahara, there was always something. Before the Safari Rally, Patrick Njiru, Shakameta will be everywhere on the TV. Right? Joginda Singh, they will be everywhere on the TV. Before Harambee Stars goes to play everywhere, they will be everywhere on the TV. That's what needs to come back. I don't think that I've seen anything that even is talking about the Olympics because advertisement on Kenyan TV, always see them on social media. When I watch Kenyan TV, I go to watch live streaming of Kenyan TV, I don't see anything that shows anything that there's an Olympic and there's this and this qualification that have happened. The only time the Olympic marathon team was mentioned was when it was announced, and the sports news that day mentioned it. After that, there's been no mention for that. So to make the people in the country fall in love with it, you've not given a romantic story to that sport for them to start liking. There's no marketing. If we compare to Americans, as you're comparing with an American sport here, Ali, before, what was her name? Gabby Douglas even hit the Olympics. I'd known about Gabby Douglas because she was being talked about. Sha'Carri was being talked way before the Olympics, even though she was banned from the Olympics. She was talked about way before. Before we went to Oregon last year, Niles and Sha'Carri were all over the news. People are talking about them. They were everywhere. So that we do not have that. We do not have. The only time we heard about Omanyala was when he was delayed to get a visa to come to Oregon. Then people will listen. That's when people learn, kuna jamu ito Omanyala amenyimwa visa. Undo msokimbia, undo msena mbio. Undo msokimbia. Like, it brought a negative thing for people and people got interest to see how Omanyala performed in Oregon. Okay. Like, lazima tujue ataperformaje kwa sababu wana visa ama nini. So there needs to be a way whereby the media goes back and makes people fall in love with sports.
Okay.
The marketing, the government, everybody, there is supposed to be need. And then another thing we need to do is just make that sport enjoyable back home. Hatuna mbio Kenya. We don't have marathons. We don't have meet. Like, if there's an event in Kenya that's athleticism, either in Shule or something that is foreign sponsored, or a charity event, or even if there is a race, it's a meet that is supposed to be there. It's supposed to be a qualification of something. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to lead to another thing that goes outside of the country.